What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleazebomb. Today, we are going to be covering the QB rankings, and I'm sorry, guys, for the red glare coming in. The sun is beaming through my 49er freaking curtains, man, so it looks all red, but we'll get through it either way here. So we are going to be going over every team in the NFL. I'm going to break down all their wide receiver cores, the schedule I like that they have, the offensive line they have. We're going to look at a ton of stuff here. We're going to rank out all the quarterbacks. Before we dive into it as well, guys, as always, make sure you smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated, whether you're listening on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever it is. I can't thank you guys enough. The content is about to start cranking. The live shows are going like it's crazy. We have D-Bro from the Fantasy Pros joining in the show tonight at 5 p.m. with my guy, Big Draft Energy, my partner, my brother. So make sure you guys are there. We're going to do some fantasy chalk talk there. And then if you guys also... Our premium Patreon Discord is up, guys. It is in the link in the description. We just hit 100 plus members. We cover everything from a $5 tier to a $20 tier, pretty much everything in fantasy football. Discord access, live chat, trade talk, dynasty rankings. The top 200 redraft is up. Our pick'em locks, premium slips will be up there as well. DFS tertiary plays, one-on-one trade talk, the BDE Big Draft Energy, best ball strategy guides and ranking is up there as well. And then you can also get roster reviews and a chance for us to draft with you guys. It is going to be a wild season. If you want to dominate your fantasy football leagues, this is the best way to do it. I am telling you, we've already helped so many people. It's been an amazing journey so far. Now, let's dive into my top 32 QB rankings for every single team this season. Let's get it rolling here. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my board. This is going to be the baller tier at the top 6 quarterbacks. One is going to surprise you, but if you've seen the thumbnail, maybe it won't. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5. And then, of course, at the bottom, you see our premium Discord as well. That link is also in the description of the video, guys. And let's get it rolling here. My number one, you could go either way. So for me, it is going to be Lamar Jackson at number one this year. I think he's going to be angry last year when you look at he kind of lost the MVP to Josh Allen. But you could go either way with either one of the two if you want. I mean, I've even seen Josh Allen go with the 1.8 in one of our 14-man redraft leagues. That's not dynasty, that's straight redraft. So, I mean, you could go either way. Now, when you're looking at Lamar Jackson, you got Mark Andrews back healthy. Last year, you know, he was kind of coming off the car accident and the injury at the same time. Zay Flowers back out there. Rashad Bateman gets his contract, and they bring in the vet DeAndre Hopkins. It is going to be a lights-out year for the Ravens. Their defense is even better, going to give them more opportunities, and I think Lamar Jackson is coming for the MVP again this year. Speaking of Josh Allen, he's going to be right behind him, number 2. And like I said, you guys could go either way with the first quarterback. Both of these guys are the elite superstars of the NFL at the position. If you want to take him ahead of him, I'm fine with that as well, right? I just have Lamar a little higher this year. Now, Josh Allen, you got Khalil Shakir dealing with a little injury. He may not be healthy till week 5, according to Dr. Jesse on Twitter, but he could be out there week 1, just playing kind of limited. Keon Coleman is my massive breakout wide receiver for the Bills this year. They got James Cook under contract. They add Elijah Moore as well to go with Josh Palmer. The Dalton Kincaid I like for a breakout this year as well. And the Bills are favored in every single game this year. Josh Allen is going to absolutely feast. Number 3 is going to be Jaden Daniels, and I don't think, the Terry McLaurin, I think he's going to sign, right? I'm not going to, speculate to if he gets traded or whatever that is. This guy's still the electric talent of the NFL. You saw in the preseason game, the 14-yard scamper for the TD run. They add Deebo Samuel. They still have Zach Ertz, who they're calling a quote-unquote cheat code in camp in preseason. Jaden Daniels is going to absolutely light it up. I'm just kind of wondering who the wide receiver 3 is going to emerge for the Commanders. Could it be Jalen Lane? Could it be Luke McCaffrey? He's been kind of struggling. Still, the Commanders are going to go absolutely nuclear, and Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt has looked great in the preseason game as well here. We call him Bill. Now, number 4 here, this one is a little bit more sketchy for me. Now, Joe Burrow, if he is healthy the entire season, his floor for me is 5,000 yards passing. It's one of my favorite props as well to bet on. I'll give you a little freebie there. You got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins under contract, Mike Gesicki. They bring in Noah Fant. I don't think he's going to touch much of the tight end position. You got Chase Brown. You got Taj Brooks. But when you saw the preseason game, and I know it's preseason, that offensive lineman, they got absolutely wrecked. And they let Joe Burrow just get sacked and sacked and sacked and kept him in the game. Not what you want to see in a preseason game. But, man, I love Joe Burrow if he can stay healthy, but health is the main concern for me with him. Number 5 is going to be Jaylen Herz, and I really wouldn't put him up here unless the tush push, was gone. It's still here. If it was gone, I would put him a lot lower. I've done a lot of research on him. I posted a tweet on X as well. If you want to check that out, I mean, Jaylen Herz is like an outside top 10 quarterback without the tush push. He's had 10-plus rushing TDs for 3 straight years. That helps him in fantasy a ton. So last year they ran the ball at the most ridiculous rate of all time. Saquon Barkley could have broke fantasy, right? Every way around. Now, Super Bowl hangover is looking kind of real here. You got A.J. Brown with the hamstring injury. Devonta Smith is down. Dallas Goedert's limited. I do think they will all be out there week 1, but it is going to be really sketchy with all 3 of these guys coming off injuries and A.J. Brown getting older. That hamstring's always one of the scariest things to see if you're fantasy wide receiver. But still, I'm going to have Jaylen Herz at 5 because, the guy can literally run for 15 touchdowns a season. Here's the biggest one for me of the year. Justin Fields is going to be my QB6 this year. If you follow any of my content, you know I like the Justin Fields Garrett Wilson stack is my favorite stack at value in fantasy football. And people are going to be like, oh, my God, you have Justin Fields at 6. Justin Fields, over his career as a starting quarterback, has averaged QB7 numbers his entire career. So I don't understand the arguments and comments I get that come back. Dude, this guy could rush for 1,000 yards here this season. You still have Breece Hall. You got Braylon Allen. You got Garrett Wilson. And Mason Taylor's looking great, the rookie at LSU tight end. He's probably going to be their second target. Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver 3, is going to be a little sketchy. Could they bring someone in? They could. But Justin Fields is going to go absolutely nuclear this season and one of my favorite values to draft at quarterback, league-winning upside. Number 7 is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I believe the revenge tour is here, but I'm not going to go revenge tour top 5 for him yet, just because we don't know the Rashee Rice situation. I think he's going to get a 4 to 6 game suspension. I'm not going to speculate on the numbers, but that's the update we are looking at. Xavier Worthy out there, Hollywood bound, still have Travis Kelce on his last dance. I'm not really even investing into Travis Kelce. I don't know if this guy is really even caring about football at this moment. He's starring in movies. He's in the Swifties concerts. He's got this, the new podcast with her, everything. So, Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in the league for overall winning and Super Bowls and everything like that. I'm just not going to go full top 5, revenge tour with him, but I still like him at QB7. Number 8. Is going to be one of the most undervalued quarterbacks in fantasy football, and that is Jordan Love. Now, why do I like Jordan Love so much more than everyone else? Well, Jordan Love played the entire year last year, hampered with that Brazil injury in week 1 on the field, and they had their wide receivers drop the most balls in fantasy football last year, or in the NFL last year. You do both, right? So what do they do in the draft? They go and get Matthew Golden. They go and get Savion Williams, which shows you right there that they're trying to pass the ball. They don't want to lean on Josh Jacobs last year like they had to because of the injuries with 350 touches, because that's not going to help them coming down to the playoff stretch. I believe Jordan Love is going to air it out a lot more this year, and he was a top 5 quarterback before that injury, and he's going off the board around quarterback 15 to 18, which is bonkers to me because the value is just so good in my opinion. Number 9 is going to be the guy that surprised the hell out of me last year in Bo Nix. I cannot believe I was way off on him. I had him QB 18. The guy finished as the top 10 QB as a rookie, which is absolutely phenomenal. Sean Payton's system. They have the number 1 offensive line, in my opinion, the number 1 defense, in my opinion. They go get him more weapons with Evan Ingram to go along with Cortland Sutton. Evan Ingram is my dark horse tight end 1. They go in the draft. They trade up for Pat Bryant. They still have Marvin Mims. Troy Franklin's look good in the preseason. This team is going to be very scary, and I'm going to keep him in my top 10 quarterbacks at number 9. Number 10, and this one's the sketchiest one there is, and it's Kyler Murray. And before we even get into the Kyler Murray-Marv situation, the Cardinals do have the 5th easiest schedule this year. So that's on their side. The NFC West is mainly the easiest schedule this year when you're looking at your teams. So something to think about right there. Now, could the Marv breakout be happening? They've been talking about it all camp, but we haven't seen it on the field. We haven't seen it in the preseason, so we don't know yet. But Trey McBride is my tight end one. The man's going to absolutely feast. They still have James Conner. Their defense has gotten a little better through the draft, and their offensive line is still kind of middle of the pack here. Trey Benson could have a little emergence here. Michael Wilson, I don't know if I really trust him as a wide receiver too. They bring back not Rondale Moore. I'm blanking in the middle. Their little slot guy. Greg Dortch, couldn't think of it for a minute. But Kyler Murray's rushing upside is still there, and I believe he's playing for his fantasy football or his NFL career right now. If this guy has a bad year, this may be his last year starting, unless like the Pittsburgh Steelers want to go get him next year when Aaron Rodgers is gone. Number 11 is going to be Caleb Williams, and everyone needs to pump the brakes, right? The hype after the preseason game versus the Bills, guys. The Bills were playing guys off the street like it was, invincible with Mark Wahlberg and the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on. But you do have Ben Johnson. The weapons are insane. They go out, they draft Colston Level as a top 10 pick. They bring in Luther Burden, who should have been a first-round pick, to go along with DJ Moore and Romo Dunze, and he revamps the offensive line to a top 10 to 15 offensive line first thing in the offseason. Everything is here for Caleb Williams to succeed. I have him at quarterback 11, but he is one of those guys where I'm like, man, if he doesn't do it here, this is probably my last time ranking him here. Number 12, the Dak attack. Prescott is here this season. The Dallas Cowboys go and get George Pickens to go along with CeeDee Lamb. You got Jake Ferguson back healthy. They bring in a nasty offensive lineman in the draft to help shore up the right side of the line. And what is their running back room, guys? Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. If you know where I stand on Javonte Williams, if you watched any of my videos the past year, been part of any of the content, and they're going to have to pass at a 60+% rate. They have a very tough division. This is going to be one of the best values. If he can stay healthy in fantasy football, he is going to feast this year. Number 13 is going to be the breakout. I'm going to ride the Drake May train here. The rushing upside is massive. The camp updates, though, he needs to find a little rhythm with the offense, but you're finally getting Stephon Diggs out there. They go and get Kyle Williams in the draft. Pop Douglas has looked great, and they may have found an absolute gem in Efton Chisholm, possibly a little Julian Edelman 2.0. Offensive line has looked better, but it's preseason again. And you still got Hunter Henry, a nice security blanket across the middle. But what you have to also like here is the Patriots have the third easiest schedule on the season, and they got Travion Henderson, who's going to hit wheel routes galore for Drake May. It's going to be so nasty. I can't wait to talk the running back rankings with my guy Travion. Number 14, and this one's rough, right? Baker Mayfield, monster year last year, was the best ball darling, fantasy football darling. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin went down, and Jalen McMillan looked great. Now, what do? They must have known something ahead of time here with Chris Godwin, right? They paid Chris Godwin his contract, but they went out and they got a Emeka Egbuka in the first round, and then Jalen McMillan had that nasty neck injury. It looked like, man, it could be longer than 9 weeks what they're giving him till the bye in week 9. Then they'll be back week 10, hopefully, right? But you got 32-year-old Mike Evans, who's also, age declining as well. That's the fall off for wide receivers in their career, usually age 32. I'm not saying Mike Evans is going to fall off. This guy's Mr. Consistent. He puts up 1,000 yards every single year. I know all of that. I just don't know if I have Baker Mayfield as high as other people because of the injury situation you're looking at. Liam Cohen is out of town with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Grizzard steps in as a new OC that's in the house from the wide receiver coach. I get all of that. I just think it's going to be a little different year. I think they're going to lean on Bucky a little more this year and possibly Rashad White at the passing game. I don't think you're going to see the massive Brock, or massive Baker Mayfield numbers from last year. Number 15, bang, bang, Niner gang, Brock Purdy gets the massive contract, but the situation just did not get good for him in the offseason. Yes, CMC is back healthy, but Brandon Ayuk looks like he's gone till week 6. Dwan Jennings, who was my wide receiver 1 for the 49ers coming in this season, is now dealing with a calf injury and can't find his way back on the field yet. There's really no timetable for him. That's moved Ricky Pearsall way up for me. We'll get to that on the wide receiver side. And you still got George Kittle, Diddle, who has a chance for tight end 1, down the middle, my guy. But that's why I've dropped Brock Purdy to out middle of the pack, because you're missing 2 stud wide receivers here. So we don't know how it's going to look. The 49ers, though, have the number 1 easiest schedule on the season, guys. They only play against opponents with a winning record of 4-15 last year, which is absolutely monstrous. They're going to feast. It's just going to be a matter of time for everyone gets healthy and gets back out there for Purdy. Number 16, Mr. Justin Herbert is very underrated in my opinion. They did maybe just lose Quentin Johnston. They say he could be back sooner rather than later. Who knows in that situation? But when you're looking at this offense with Harbaugh and the run attack, they get Amari Hampton in the first round. Najee Harris has this firework explosion in his eye thing. We don't really know what's going on there. Could it be a timeshare like they say? Possibly. Pound the run game like last year? Possibly. But they go get Keenan Allen to go along with Lab McConkey, and they draft Trey Harris in the draft. They get Keandre Lambert-Smith, who looks great in the preseason. This is going to be a different-looking Justin Herbert this year, and his value is one of my favorite. And he also brings a little rushing upside that people don't really, kind of notice because he's so big, but he can. Number 17, I'm a lot higher than others on Trevor Lawrence. I know my guy, Big Draft Energy, has him top 10, which I'm here for the breakout. You get Liam Cohen. You get Travis Hunter, who's going to play the Chris Godwin slot role. And everyone that gave me shit about Travis Hunter is going to hear about it when the season is over because I cannot wait. You got BTJ. Brenton Strange is going to have a kind of breakout year at tight end. They've got a three-headed monster running back right now. I think one of them does get traded with ETN, Bigsby, and Tootin. Tootin being the fastest running back at the NFL Combine. So which wheel is up for the Jacksonville Jaguars? It just depends on this guy right here, Trevor Lawrence. That's all it comes down to. And they have the number 7th easiest schedule as well. They only play against opponents that won 400 or .467 last year, so under 500, which is what you want to see. Number 18, and he's finished top 10, and this guy I'm just lower on this year. I'm just lower on Jared Goff. All the weapons are nice. You still have Amon-Ra. You still have Jamison Williams, who Coach Speak Index, shout out to them on Twitter if you follow them, is saying he's in for a monster breakout year. And they bring in Isaac Tesla, who looks like he's just been charged up, the 11th highest rated RAS player in wide receiver history. The man is an athletic specimen, to go along with Sam Laporta, to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, to go with David Montgomery. But why am I lower? Because Ben Johnson is now in Chicago, the offensive-minded guru. And if you've seen Jared Goff without McVay and Ben Johnson, it's just a different look. And you have to think about Ragnow, a all-time Hall of Fame Pro Bowl center, retires. Kevin Zeitler, the right guard, moves to Tennessee. It's going to be a different look. They're starting 2 rookies on their line. And I just think Jared Goff is kind of like in a Baker Mayfield situation where they have a regression this year. Number 19, my breakout guy, sleeper quarterback that you could draft, J.J. McCarthy. Man, I had him so high last year, the injury derailed him. And you have to look at like Kevin O'Connell, right? McVay tree, very smart very smart, offensive-minded, knows his quarterbacks. They had Sam Darnold, who was a top 10 quarterback last year, and just let him walk for free, which shows you that they think that J.J. McCarthy can do almost the damn near same thing. You still got Justin Jefferson with a scary hamstring. He was back at practice. He should be ready week 1. Jordan Addison with a 3-game, DUI suspension. So they're looking to add veteran help behind Ty Felton, behind Jalen Naylor, who are the wide receiver 3s. And it just seems like this is just set up for a perfect season with J.J. McCarthy. The offensive line gets massively better. You bring in Jordan Mason to shore up the goal line work, which they couldn't get last year with Aaron Jones as well. And it's just the sky is the limit. This defense gets turnovers galore. They get so many opportunities. I love J.J. McCarthy at value this year. And my favorite value overall is Bryce Young. I have him at quarterback, 22nd year in Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer system. What do? They go out and they get Big Tet McMillan, 6'5", although he's dealing with a hamstring injury as well right now. Should be good to go week 1. We don't know if it'll be 100%. We don't have the full update yet on that. But they've got Adam Thielen right now currently. He could be on the trade block for the Vikings, supposedly, if you're paying attention to Twitter right now. Xavier Legette, 2nd year. Could he break out? Hunter Renfrow. Jalen Coker's been the talk of camp. Jimmy Horn Jr. was even the talk of camp at the beginning with his speed. All the weapons are here. And when he got benched for Andy Dalton last year, he learned a lot and he came back in and he was a top 8 quarterback down the stretch. And I think he's going to be one of the best values in fantasy football this year for your QB2 if you need one, and possible spot start for your bye weeks. Number 21 is C.J. Strad. And I have him as a bounce back player this year. And the offensive line is the only problem I have, but why I like it even more now is you got this Joe Mixon injury and looks like he might be on the PUP list for the first 4 weeks. You got Nick Chubb, who's always hurt. Could it be Dameon Pierce? Could it be Woody Marks? I'm avoiding the Texans running back room either way. But what do? They go get Jaden Higgins. They go get Christian Kirk. They go get Jalen Noel to go along with Nico Collins. These are weapons galore. Dalton Schultz, I'm not really, that interested at tight end, but we'll get to that in the tight end rankings. And they're going to have to score points at will. Their defense is very, very good against the run. Their defense is middle of the pack against the pass. They could have gotten a little better. We'll see, come season time when you get a little you need at least like 4 or 5 games of statistics to kind of get to the defensive stat side. But I think they will be a little better. And I think CJ Stroud, you're going to see like his rookie year explosion this year. Number 22, Tua Tagavae, the Miami Dolphins. And you got A-Chain with a calf injury right now. Could it be 2 to 3 weeks? Could it be a week? We don't know yet. Could it be Jalen Wright? Could it be Ollie Gordon? Everyone's leaning Ollie Gordon because the preseason, we've got to let it play out. It's kind of like, the Ja'Cory Krosky-Barrett thing. We don't know yet. But Tyreek Hill with the oblique strain, he should be good to go week 1. Needs to get the chemistry back with Tua, but Jalen Waddle has looked electric. They bring in Darren Waller, who people haven't even seen yet, who's going to be a sleeper tight end play, who Gino Smith finished tight end for the Dolphins last year. The weapons are here. The offensive line still not that great. They're going to have to pass at will. It's going to be a full kind of air attack here in Miami, and Tua is very underrated, and he could smash every single week. You know that. It's just scary with his concussions, and will he make it through the full season? That's always the thing with Tua Tagavae. Number 23, the panic is over with Matthew Stafford, back-to-back practices, but that back injury is still going to be scary all year long. The guy's 37 years old. I'm not saying he's going to get hurt by any means. The guy is a freaking warrior, 100%. This is the Rams Super Bowl window is now. He is going to play through every single pain amount he could tolerate this season. Do not underestimate that with Matthew Stafford. Now, Puka Nacua, we all know what he is. Who do they go get? They go get Devontae, probably the best route runner I've seen in 20 years, Adams. He is going to feast in this offense. Kanata Mumfield looks like he may even be winning the number 3 role as a rookie out there. He's been balling in the preseason. Could it be Jordan Whittington? They have Kyron Williams, and they bring in Blake Corum. They bring in Jarquez Hunter in case anything happens to Kyron. This team is loaded across the board. And what you have to remember is last year, their entire offensive line was decimated with injuries. Now they are finally back healthy. They've got to keep Matthew Stafford upright, and the Rams are going to be they're my NFC Super Bowl pick, and I'm a 49er fan, man, which is crazy. Number 24, Michael Penix Jr. The hype is here, but you got to I've kind of got to let it play out before I fully buy into it, right? I love Drake London. He's my dark horse wide receiver 1. Darnell Mooney always carries a massive injury risk. The Kyle Pitts hype, I'm here for one last dance for it too, but will it play out? It hasn't played out since his rookie year, kind of. Their offensive line is massive. Bijan and Tyler Algier behind it is great. But I just need to see a little more from Penix first before I fully just, say Michael Penix to the moon, right? It was a very small sample size last year. Kirk Cousins looks like a shell of himself. I wish we would have saw more Penix, but we're going to get to see more this year. Number 25, Cameron the Warden out of Miami, the number 1 pick, led the NCAA in touchdowns and second in passing yards, and now he goes to the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans have revamped that offensive line, getting Zeitler from the Lions and getting Moore Jr. from the Steelers, and they've got 2 first-round picks on that line as well. They're getting better also. And the Tennessee Titans, guys, have the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL as well. So Calvin Ridley, we'll get to that in my wide receiver video, one of my absolute favorite draft picks this year, who will emerge as the wide receiver 2, the 2 fourth round picks they picked up with Aya Manor and Kadmer DK out of Texas and I believe Stanford for both of them. Could it be Tyler Lockett? Could it be Van Jefferson? It's going to be a nightmare what happens there. But they also got Chig, who had a little breakout last year down the stretch. He was tight end 4 from weeks 15 to 17. He absolutely, they unlocked a little secret there. And what do you like for rookie quarterbacks? His security blanket is at tight end. So Cameron Ward, 25, could be great value weekly. I just need to see a little, see some pro games here to throw him up a little higher coming through the weeks here. Number 26, Gino Smith, and I'm not that high on the Raiders passing game this year, guys. And everyone's going to think I'm crazy when I get to my tight end rankings with Brock Bowers, but you have Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly together. They're like a 60+% run game ball control offense. And what do they do with that scheme? They go and get Ashton Genty. this is going to be a lot more running this year. The Raiders and Brock Bowers, third and Brock last year was the term, right? Last year, they were the worst running offense in a long time. Like, they were anemic. They could not do anything in the run game. And now you have your superstar, Ashton Genty. So it's going to be a different look here. Do I like Dante Thornton, who's having a great preseason, and Jack Bowers as their rookie picks, or Jack Beck, sorry, as their rookie picks, to go along with Jacoby Myers and Bowers? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they can do. But I just think it's going to be a different look for them this season. And speaking of run games here, number 27, I should have grabbed his photo. I forgot. But Sam Darnold, Seattle Seahawks, 3-year, $100 million contract, and he gets Clint Kubiak. Now, you still have Jackson Smith-Njigba, who I love for a monster year this year. I think he's underrated. They go and get the old man Cooper Kupp. Does he have juice left? That's the updates. Am I buying that? Not really. But their offensive line is not that great. But everyone's hyped up because the preseason right now. It's the preseason, guys, and they're running over teams. Their offensive line looks great in the preseason. You're playing against nobodies, man. So I'm not buying that their offensive line is amazing because they have, the Halani guy going off in the preseason. Come on, guys. We got to temper your expectations when you're watching a preseason game. I know social media gets people hyped up, but you got to be logical here. And I've got Sam Darnold at QB 27. Not that high on Sam Darnold this year. This one hurts, man. The Indianapolis Colts, something's got to change from the front office, like top to bottom, man. Danny Dimes or Daniel Pesos or Danny Jones or whatever you want to call him is named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts over Anthony Richardson. I mean, I don't understand it. I get it. If they think it's going to be a better game manager. But the guy's 28. You've seen him play for 7 seasons now. Like, you know what he can do. You knew that Anthony Richardson was a project, and they just kind of failed him, man, honestly, in my opinion. And you even have Quentin Nelson, your big offensive lineman, defending Anthony Richardson and mad at the Colts organization. This team is in shambles this year. I'm avoiding Colts almost now at all cost, even with Daniel Jones out there or not. I just don't like the situation. Quarterback number 29, the old man, Aaron Rodgers. I just don't trust him to stay healthy, man. I know I know Aaron Rodgers is probably my favorite thrower of the quarterback. Thrower of the ball at quarterback. He's made so many tight window throws that I don't think other quarterbacks are making in his career. He's older. The Achilles the year before, I don't trust it. He does have DK Metcalf. He feeds his wide receiver one at a crazy amount in his career. I know all of that. I like DK a lot of value. I'm not going to ever feel comfortable starting, Aaron Rodgers this year. To go along with that, that's going to be the other old man, Russell Wilson, who's now on the New York Giants. And I just want to see Jackson Dart. Like, do we really need to talk about Russell Wilson much longer? Jackson Dart has looked so good in the preseason. Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors will be absolutely electric. I know that Russell Wilson hit a moon bomb in the preseason. Again, it's the preseason, guys. I don't put much into it. And we're going to round to the last two just pretty quick here because I don't think you're really going to be drafting these quarterbacks either way. Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, whoever it's going to be for the Saints. I still like the wide receivers for the Saints. We'll get to that in the wide receiver video because you have Kellen Moore as the OC. But I'm not going to feel comfortable, unless it's like DFS or best ball starting Shuck or Spencer Rattler in a redraft ever. Just not a smart move. 32 for the Browns. Joe Flacco is named the starter. Should be Shadur Sanders. Joe Flacco will probably play 5 to 6 games here, and then we'll be looking at whatever they can do. They should be building for the future. When you got Archie Manning saying that he may even come out, what are the Browns thinking here? Like, what? Let's put in our rookies, see what we have. Why are we playing a 40-year-old veteran when we're not playing for a Super Bowl this year? Make it make sense. I just don't get it, guys. It's absolutely crazy to me. But it's the Browns. The Browns will always brown, man. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. Remember, before you head out, smash that like and subscribe. All the support's appreciated. Check out the Guys FF Patreon. The link will be pinned. It's also in the description of the video. It'll be pinned in the comments as well. Up next, I'll have my running back, wide receiver, tight end rankings. Hopefully, I get all those out this week, guys. And remember, we'll be live again tonight at 5 p.m. Guest appearance from one of my favorite people in the industry, one of the icons, D-Bro, and my guy, Big Draft Energy, will be in there with me. We'll be chalk talking fantasy football if you guys have any questions. And if you guys have any questions, comments as well, drop them in the video as well. I try to answer every single one of them to help you guys out. And that is it for me, man. Sleazebomb out. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys for listening.